Team RWBY was enjoying their break from the movies, hoping that their friends were enjoying the movie that they'd just seen in their place. RWBY was currently playing that Deity of Conflict game gifted by Yang.
These games really are awesome, thanks, Yang.
I'm glad that you're enjoying it, sis. So, what do you guys think the others are thinking about the movie?
No doubt Nora and John will like all the explosions. And I'm guessing the general can't keep his eyes off all the weapons in the movie.
Blake was somewhat concerned about what the war-minded general may do with the ideas for some of those weapons. Sure, they're at peace now, but new weapons and new power can bolster a kingdom's confidence. Not to mention the fact that Atlas isn't exactly known for being the kindest of all four of them, especially with just how much Mantle is suffering just below them.
I think Penny will love seeing Dummy and all the other robots.
Why is that? Besides Dummy, they don't really have that big of an impact.
No reason. I just think she'll think that they're cute.
But now that you mention them, I think that Velvet would like the robots as well.
I bet Pyrrha and Ren will like how he changes his ways and tries to get rid of his weapons. Coco will probably like how much of a wild party animal Tony was at the beginning.
I hope we never see that version of Tony again. If I had to guess for Glinda, I'd say that she would have probably liked Tony's road to redemption, along with how he tries to weed out his company's inside trading.
And Ozpin once said that he made more mistakes than any man, woman, or child on Remnant. So I think that he'd like Tony for trying to fix his mistakes and destroy the weapons that he made that have gotten into the wrong hands.
Oh man, I bet the general's gonna hate seeing all those weapons getting destroyed.
As if on cue, the girls heard an explosion from the movie, followed shortly by a shout of rage.
Those weapons could have still been put to good use. Reacquire them from your enemy. Don't outright destroy them.
That sudden outburst alone caused the girls to hold in their laughter. About an hour later, John opened the door to the room the girls were in.
Okay, girls, the movie's finished. Ready for the next one?
They quickly made their way back to the main area. The giant ottoman that filled the U the couch made was gone now. It was replaced with small individual footrests for each person, 3 beanbag chairs taking up the rest of the space, which Coco, Velvet, and Gian himself sat in. Team Juniper was on the left-hand side of the couch, Ironwood and Penny on the right, and Ozpin and Glinda taking the center. However, they soon scooted to the right, sitting beside Ironwood and Penny, and Team RWBY returned, taking back the middle. Crow and Winter then returned, the former drunk, placing himself in the right-hand corner of the blocky U, between Yang and Glinda, while Winter took Penny's spot in between Ironwood and Ozpin as the gynoid walked up.
Ruby, may I sit next to you, please?
RWBY looked to Weiss with a pleading face. The heiress nodded and scooched over next to Pyrrha, taking the corner opposite of Crow.
So what did you all think?
The girls actually had to hold in their laughter once again as the new watchers gave essentially their exact opinion Team RWBY believed they would have.
We thought you'd have similar opinions. Still, it's nice to hear that you've enjoyed it as well.
Agreed. I wouldn't want to make you all watch movies you weren't enjoying. Now then, on to the next movie, The Incredible Hulk.
Suddenly, a large blinking red button appeared a good ways off to the side.
Oh, this might not be good.
He then slowly approached and pressed the button before a devastating onslaught of frost sprayed all at once and engulfed the sun demon. However, a figure could still be seen moving in the ensuing blue fog, before a hand reached out of the torrent of fire and struggled forward, hitting the button again and ending the frost. What many of them noticed, however, was the fact that said hand wasn't Gian's. The frost died down to reveal Gian, miraculously unharmed thanks to his flame shield that he activated upon instinct. But it was the person with the demon that took everyone by surprise. If Gian could be considered as the definition of male beauty, then this new individual could be considered the definition of female beauty. The woman next to Gian looked rather young, basically around RWBY's age, had messy white hair and pale white skin. A beautiful face, if any of the blushes seen on the faces of the males in the room is anything to go by. She also had crimson red eyes with slit-like pupils, similar to a reptile, and if one were to look at her mouth, they would see sharp fangs.
Now, what did I tell you about playing with fire and not inviting me?
It's not like I wanted to. It's just that apparently not many people like the movie that I wanted to show my guests.
She then stated like the fact that he was almost roasted alive hadn't happened. She then crossed her arms and gave him a mirthful smirk of her own.
And what about you? You could have just called that you were visiting, but no, you just had to make an entrance, didn't you?
What can I say? It's part of my charm.
The guests were quite shocked and confused with this exchange as they seemed like they were good friends. They each had their own reactions to the presence of this new individual. The females were tense due to the fact that they could sense that this new individual was of similar strength to Jian, and despite her playful and friendly behavior towards him, they didn't know a thing about what her vision of them was like. The males, however, even the usually tough Ironwood and calm Ozpin, were quite the opposite. All of them were blushing rather hard.
Why, hello there. Thank you for helping Sir Jian with the frost. Would you be so kind as to tell us who you are?
She asked innocently, getting the attention of both trans-dimensional entities and snapping the rest of the Remnentians out of their trances.
Ah, where are my manners? Greetings, fellow guests of Jian. My name is Britney Blaine.
Well, it's nice to meet you. My name is Penny Polendina.
Sorry to sound rude, but who are you and how do you know Jian?
Right, where are my manners? Everyone, this is my good friend Britney. And before any of you ask, no, she isn't human either. She's a revenant.
He then went on to introduce her to the others while also introducing them to her.
Pleasure to meet you, Ms. Blaine, but I have to ask, what is a revenant? I don't think I've heard of them before.
Though they wouldn't say it out loud, everyone was just as curious about the type of being that was the Revenant, but they were discreet about it.
Yeah, tell us, what are you?
Well, long story short, she's something akin to a vampire.
You're a vampire? That's amazing! Go ahead and drink me. Make me a bloodsucker, too.
Whoa there, hold your horses, girl. He said like a vampire, not as one. And besides, it doesn't work like that.
Then how does it work?
Trust me when I say you don't want to know. The only clue about what I am that I can give you is that, if this is what I think it is, then you'll see if you watch the movie.
But...
Nora, just drop it. It would seem that is a rather sensitive topic, one that you shouldn't rush.
Besides, she said that this movie would shed some light on how she became the woman she is today. As such, I suggest we just sit down and enjoy the show.
Excuse me, but won't you suffer the freeze barrage again if you play this movie?
Oh, that? You don't have to worry about it much. As long as I'm here, they won't even bother to try anything else.
Why is that?
Let's just say amongst her titles, 2 of them just so happen to be Rampage and the God Eater.
Wait a second, you ate gods! That is awesome!
Well, I don't mean to brag, but it just goes to show you how far a man will go for the people that he loves. And before anyone asks, no, me and Jian aren't like that. If you want to know more about our love life, then I suggest that you wait till the end of the movie.
Which I was just about to start. Oh, and fair warning though, there might be some scenes in here that, while not gory, may not exactly be suited for those faint of the heart.
May I inquire you as to why exactly do you think this would be the case?
I can't tell you much about it without spoiling the movie. What I can say, however, is that the main character in this film is essentially on a quest to free himself from a curse. One that a few certain others wish to take advantage of.
This caused the audience to both worry and wonder just what it was that could get a person as calm and cool as her to feel such anger towards said people. Quickly noticing the tension and the raising of a hand.
Sorry, folks, but spoilers. Like my situation, if you want to know more, then simply watch.
Wanting to know what it was that could rile them up like this, they all decided that it would be for the best to just sit back and watch the movie as it began to play. Sooner or later, they would get their answers.